dark. We always remember the slogan. You know,
I personally didn't know that. Yeah. But okay. Cool. What else? What other brands are really out there? Local brands. Yeah. Tommy Lights. Now Tommy drinks. Why Tommy? Why bites? Why treat that? You know, it's all these little things that sometimes even start using the local slang language that can easily captivate someone. And then it's the how you start picking your colors and the font sizing and. So perhaps if you want to just debunk a little on why the name even in the first place.
So we were going to start off from the, it's called Show Me Shop. Show Me Drinks is just a brand under Show Me Shop. But it was initially going to be Show Me Hub. But then we realized that we don't think that all Namibians would get the term hub, so we changed it to Show Me Shop.
Yeah. When you say you don't think it's because you did a little market research, you did a little survey.
It was just an assumption that majority of our population in Namibia won't know the term hub.
Okay. But the Chomi kept it friendly. Chomi very more friendly and catchy. Yeah, very cool. Any other
But the Chomi part is like, it's supposed to be your flesh.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There are certain terms or lingua, certain linguas and then jab that you put onto a word that people can easily, entity that goes with our gig, our crime, all of that. To a point where even the little kids can relate to entities, sub branch, So it's, I'm trying to think of another local brand. Tololi also. The Tololi shop, yeah. Tololi online.
Yeah.
That one. Why? The pop of yellow. Yeah, yellow.
Yeah, it's yellow.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that he mentioned earlier. It's about the feeling. Like as soon as I see it, hear it, I'm easily, taken back to what, because they decided to order something off of the road. Yeah? So we're still gonna figure out if we can have Vennduke, who's really gonna share his journey with us. Why he got into branding. So we have a few questions for him, but it has a lot to do with his journey, why he chose to be in the field that he is. And yeah, just picking his brain a little. And I hope you take this opportunity to really, really, really dive into him not having to request you at the end of the day. Yeah, because of your brand that you're currently working on. But before we get him on, I wanted us to kind of do a little icebreaker because I still feel like we're a little bit rigid, a little bit still not open to the room yet. So we're gonna play something I call just visualizing how your week was. So if you had to give it a color, what would that be and why? Anyone can volunteer to tell us? Yes? Pink. Why? Because it's October. Okay. Pink because it's October. Breast cancer month? Okay. I get you. Any other person? How your week was in a color? Green?
Because I feel like there's so many ideas about this week, like new ideas being friends.
You okay? So green vote. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Any other person who'd like to share? What's funny, guys?
We're just discussing colors here.
Oh, okay. Can the discussion become more points in the room?
Yeah, no, he likes pink, and I said purple. He said, why? I said, because that was the first pen I picked up outside.
Nice, nice.
Awesome. But is that what describes your week or how your week was?
I think it might be my weakness. Strength.
Okay. Okay. Any other person who would like to share with us? I think I'm yellow. Yellow, very busy and very productive. A lot of new opportunities. Mine, I think, white.
I white.
Why white? I felt at peace. I know it's the white flag, the war is too much. I mean it in the sense that a lot is happening out there right now. Like you can't go on Twitter and not laugh at something and then you go like, oh, shit, and then you start laughing again. So it's a roller coaster. But I felt like the past week was just peace in wherever that my surroundings, wherever I was. It was a welcoming coffee and then with a friend just checking up. I just felt someone taking care of me. My guardian angel was right here.
Not because it's a nice neutral color, so
Always, and like, and you look at a go-to color always. So what's your favorite color? White. Yeah? You know, I feel like I'm really just, are we okay, guys? Yeah? Are you sure we're okay? And I'm busy with it. But okay, cool. I'm worried about Vennduke and not him being here all the time. Did he? Oh, I was. And he's just here checking up the stuff. Hi.
And he said,
Everyone, please keep a hand. So like I kept saying, this is a space where we try and, share a lot. Share our personal experiences, share whatever it is that's on our mind, especially when it comes to running a business, running or starting off your startup. So we're gonna ask you a few questions, but before we do that, perhaps for those that really don't know you, do you mind telling us about yourself?
Hi everybody. I'm Vennduke. I am born in Zimbabwe. I grew up in Zimbabwe and I lived to study in South Africa. I went to Monash for my undergrad and did my honors at Vega and I worked for 13 years. I started off in fashion actually, but I came back to brand. I came back to brand and everything brand. And I moved to Namibia early last year. Yeah.
Okay. How has the been so far?
Hot. It's been extremely hot. But very pleasant. It's been very, very nice.
Okay.
A good learning curve.
A good learning curve? I mean, coronavirus hit you or hit all of us
Yeah.
so bad. But how has that been really? Has it been slow for you in terms of having to move from Joburg to Namibia?
Well, the whole world slowed down. So I wouldn't think that in particular Vennduke is special. I just think it was a needed slowing down. So I welcome it. Besides the impact on the economy, it was a needed slowdown.
Yeah. I think a lot can resonate with that. For sure. You think COVID-19 impacted you badly, or was it really a good resting time for you, to think, to start planning and strategizing? No? Bad? For business? Why?
Yeah, lost like 8% of my income.
Yeah. Despite all of that, I think we can all agree come to terms that a lot of agencies, let alone the government, came up and tried to assist. If you are a startup, you can apply for funds here. We can assist you in this regard. I'm not sure how fast they were to releasing these funds, but opportunity was given to the youth, especially, and people in business.
So I was actually I was a freelancer for a company in the US, and since they were in the US, they had to cut down on costs.
So you're a designer?
No, I'm actually a programmer.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I had to start. I think I started 2 businesses in that time.
See?
And would you have done that? Would you have done that?
In October?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I was also part of, I was a co-founder of the Lori online store.
Yes.
And that's done, I also left. So, I don't know.
That's just that.
It was,
all over the place.
Transitioning.
yeah.
Okay, Vennduke, tell us what inspired you to pursue, the career that you're in right now.
I think early on, I was fascinated by everything about life, people's lifestyle, and people's behaviors, and what they are always searching for. They search for meaning, and they find this meaning. And I think that's when I started being intrigued by things like marketing, because that's something that touches every lifestyle, from every walk of life. They have come into contact with a brand, knowing or not knowing. And I've always wanted to enhance that experience or point of contact with a brand, because that's how you add value. So I think it's always been about making people feel good and feeling some type of way towards the brand.
Hence then
Yeah.
getting it. Would you call yourself like a brand strategist?
You know what? I think when I when I came to Namibia, I heard a lot of titles being thrown around, like strategist and all of that. But I think I'm trying to, actually, I am becoming more a lifestyle connoisseur. So everything to do with life, I want to be involved with it and curate those experiences that people need through brands and authors. Because it's beyond just being a brand strategist. What value are you adding to some of that?
Yeah. And let's take it back a notch to stepping into the whole entrepreneurial sphere.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurial. No, entrepreneur. I want to the sphere, so I can't get
Yeah. That works.
that. If you had to position yourself in that, because I feel there's a huge opportunity, especially in Namibia, because everyone else has an idea left, right, and center. A lot of them successfully make it out and create a strong brand that represents the problem that they're trying to solve. So if you have to sit down with someone that has an idea to put lifeless plastic plants in a bowl, how do I sell this? How do I make this so important for someone to buy it?
I think let's take it back first.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah.
What is your purpose? What gives you joy?
Yeah.
Right? If you want people to feel good, right? Or to always look for the beautiful things in life, that's a good place to be. Right? So now this is just a vehicle of how you sell that. I think people always chase selling the product before making sure you yourself know your purpose. So if you're all about I want people to feel good and look at beautiful things, you will make sure in every situation, everything that you touch, they see that.
Yeah.
So my first thing would be look at the reason behind it. What does it add? And what do you want someone to feel from that? I think we're beyond just selling a product. We want to sell an emotion, a connection. And I think that's the important thing. So I would say, sell serene, sell making me feel at peace, sell making my space look beautiful, sell a home. This is sell a home.
Yeah, and an office space.
An office.
This is my place that can help create.
Yes, you even in your office space, this would help to create a sense of like, okay, escape from home, the difference between home and office. And this could create an ambiance.
Awesome. I didn't. I was on my God, I didn't know that. Okay. And I mean, one of the things that one can highlight is the fact that you mentioned that this is just the vehicle that's going to drive what it is that you're passionate about. And a lot of people, like you said, like just have that little disconnect between, I know I want to make money, but what is it? What problem is it? And it's right on our wall. They always say, love the problem. And no, love the solution. Love the problem and not the solution. Sure, I'm really off again. Oh my God. But yeah, being at the agency that you're working right now, how has that been so far?
It has been amazing. I think I would not have grown this much if I was in South Africa. I would not have. I think South Africa is a different ballgame. Here, you need to be on the ground, creating a meaning for a brand, and not just saying, "Oh, we can do some TV, we can do some digital." Immerse yourself in their life. And I think initially when I came, I struggled with connecting with the local market because it's a different ballgame. Yes, we are exposed to the global atmosphere, but you need to be local. And I think I learned to be more granular and more hard-hitting to what people we need.
Highlights, if you may, or if you can, like one of the brands. I almost call them top brands. I mean, Namibian brand is a top brand. One of the brands you've worked with that has really kind of made you think about life just a little bit, like shaking you up, made you go some feeling.
I'm gonna have to say, it's hard to pick because we work with really amazing brands that add value to that. First in my mind would have to be Namibia Dairy because they have a purpose. They want to feed the nation. They want to be the food basket of Namibia, right? So they came and they were launching Oshikandera, the new packaging, the new flavor, I think. And to me, it's like, oh, it's something that I can take to Kumia, but it's not that. There's so much heritage, so much nostalgia for Namibians, there's so much richness in what it means to people. And it's part of the social discourse. So if I came in here not knowing that, I could have just another job, but it needed to be relevant and I needed to tie with the heritage and credibility. And I think at Weathermen, because we have such a diverse team from all walks of life, we challenged others to get to the crux of how we add value to the brand and to the nation.
Perhaps maybe a question from the audience then. Like, you guys know what Shikandela is? It's the ready-to-go yogurt or yogi drink.
Yes.
I've known it all my life. As a child, as a baby, as a grown woman now, I've known it all my life. But I think perhaps if you ever wanted to ask why the yellow, why the three-legged pot that used to be on it, why else was on that thing? Because the cow as well. Maybe this is the time.
But do you see what the beauty of what is happening? You've just identified the key iconic assets of the brand that we cannot trade away. If we take that away, there's still be Oshikandela to you.
No, not really.
Would it?
I don't think it would be another yogi drink
Yes.
on the shelf. But Would it? Good question.
But it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. Because you grew up with it. And if you have a family, you still want to pass that on. You know, it's something that you say, oh, I can resonate with.
Okay. Okay.
And it's more than a yoga. It's what people need to get through the day. Yes.
Okay.
Would it taste the same for you with another color, with another name, maybe? Spontaneously.
Yeah.
Okay, it would, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say, first of all, I'll question it, like, why change the name? Take me on the journey of why you're doing it. Don't just come here and say, new packaging.
New packaging, same
Same taste. It's not that. It's why are you changing it? Because I know for a fact if I gravitate towards human behavior gravitates towards colors and iconic assets of a brand that we gravitate towards. If that's not there, what else has changed? So I will need to be at peace and trust the brand to know that it's doing what it's meant to do. But it will take a lot of convincing. Yeah.
You know why? You know, but yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, I know we've always, like we said, we name dropped a couple of brands here. We name dropped the Mercedes brand. We name dropped Apple. We name dropped Big and Big Willies. We name dropped all the brands. Yeah, even Piroli and Tommy Bikes. We name dropped a couple of brands here that really, you know, people feeling those experience, you know. But to be in the market for so long, you know, what are some of the things that you need to do to keep people at the top of mind?
I think, again, I'll come back to the purpose, the why behind it. Look at Kodak. They died because they didn't mature with the purpose. They were focusing more on the product, on film and camera. They were not ready for the camera to be on the phone. They missed that boat. They were not purpose driven. So if a brand navigates around a purpose, if you think about brands like even Nike, they make sure you advocate. They make you take a stand to start, to do, and not to be passive.
Yeah.
You know, buy into that. I'm now local in Namibia, but if you think about brands that bring people together, I think of brands like even Tafel, you know, like it's part of that conversation.
Yeah.
You know, they own that.
Yeah.
And now they can say, okay, have a bride, because that's when people get together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even a brand that innovates have a purpose, not push a product.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing.
Okay, cool. And I always want to bring it back to the entrepreneurial. You know, for someone who's still starting off, who still doesn't have a name, and because I always feel like the name is normally not the first thing you get used to, you know, it's just, it comes to you at 3 a.m. sometimes. In the morning, if not 4. But you know, but as you're starting off, you do need a guiding document, like your brand strategy.
I would call it a dossier. I wouldn't even call it brand strategy. I would call it the things you want to see, the things you want it to be. And I will always come back to why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You can have an idea, but you don't want to be here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mistake of a lot of platforms that start off and they don't have a long-term view, vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say put it all on paper, chop and change, and you know, but keep asking yourself, why am I doing this? If the market is to change, how will I fit in? A lot of brands that suffered in the pandemic were not agile enough to adapt. And because they were not purpose driven, they were product driven and money driven. So I think if you always come back to why am I doing this, I think, and build on that.
Yeah.
And build. So that's how other brands get bought. I'm sorry, I'm a reference fashion here. If you think of all the big brands, even Armani,
Yeah.
Armani got a top level, but someone who does not earn a lot of money wants to buy into that. then technology is Amani's course.
Yeah.
The purpose is everyone deserves to look good.
Yeah.
So I make it accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
So I think now they can innovate, or we can do shoes, or we can do fragrances.
Exactly.
So it is not an expand, and not just be tied with the one product, the one idea.
Yeah, always. Yeah. What is my note? Right? You know, and having to come back to when you said, you know, put it all on paper,
Yeah.
start there.
Yeah.
Australia, Korea, like you said. What are some of the key things that you need to think about when you have your blank canvas and you just want to drop everything down?
Don't be too hard on yourself. Keep writing.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m., I would say, if you don't have paper, make a voice note. I send voice notes to my sister just so I can remind myself that I thought of this. And I can always come back to it. I think there's no structure. And I think also when you're building a brand, allow yourself to be fluid and agile. Don't be hard on yourself. If you always capture your thoughts, you can always come back and you can probably see a golden thread going through it. And then you can see that, oh, there's something that is appearing here. What can I make of this? That's the first thing. And the second thing I would say to you, be prepared to be a loner. And not everyone will buy into your idea, and not everyone needs to approach you for your idea. It only needs to make sense to you.
And your dog.
And your dog, and your phone, or whatever. Be prepared to be a loner for the first part of the journey. When you feel like you are getting somewhere, then share it with someone who you trust, who has a skill set. Because a lot of dreams, a lot of ideas, a lot of brands die before they're even born. Because of that. So we don't have a premature death. You know, let it go.
Yeah. We have a tailor-made exercise that we'll share maybe just shortly after our discussion. But it has to kind of highlight some of the things that you need to figure out in terms of your color. Like, what does that color make you feel? Hence the little icebreaker exercise we did with, if you had to explain what your week or how your week was in a color,
Yes.
what would that be?
Me,
Yeah.
the color.
And
Okay, I'm not gonna think. I would definitely think it's like a baby blue color. Why I think blue is because every week is ups and downs. But if you see through the clouds, you see the sky. So I think it's always like, how do I get through to the sky? And I think that's my really blue color.
okay, cool. Awesome. So
This
coming
is bad.
back,
Yeah.
getting back to, I think having to ask yourself what that color makes you feel and how you like your client, potential customers, to kind of feel when they see your brand. Brands like Pick and Pay, for instance, they don't even need to write out the word Pick and Pay for you to go like, that's Pick and Pay.
But what do you remember about it?
But right?
What do you remember about it?
For me, it's the font. It's the weirdest thing. The font gets me every time. I just know. And you know how advertisers are doing it now on TV? Before they pop the brand first, it's storyline, it's narrative, and then the font always gets me. I'm like, that's Willis. That's definitely Willis. And then at the end is the W, and I'm like, I knew it. But you know, it's for me that. But then for other people, it could be the color. The other, another person could be their messaging always. Sometimes it's always consistent, you know. So having to sit at a table with a new company that kind of knows what they want, but you want to direct them in, you know, the right route in order to start generating sales, to start, you know, getting or attracting an audience. What are some of the things you discussed? Like, what's your brief to that?
I think I always start by asking, what is it you want the consumer to feel? And what does your brand stand for? A brand like Pick and Pay has nice color cues that can form part of the like the white, the dominant color, and that simplicity is You know what I mean? You think about bags, they all play kind of a boldness, like Vennduke. Blue, it actually represents trust, but it has trust is bold. And green means that you are safe. So that kind of thing. So I would say, what is the first thing you want to consume at your fear? And what is your brand stand?
Yeah.
And how agile, how fluid is it? And also, but how do you want to speak to your consumer? You cannot want to be a caring brand and be red. That's not it. Look at Dove. They're a guardian. Look at the color that they use. They know.
Oh my God, I'm realizing that I'm really a white. I don't context, but we got it.
But think about it. But you feel like you can trust this and you're safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a little bit like a dark
Yeah.
blue to kind of show that
Yeah.
I'm still up here.
Yeah. Look at Ocean Mandela. It's bold. It's part of everyday life.
Yeah.
And it's part of everyday conversation.
Yeah.
You cannot ignore that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been on the same bandwagon as Top Score. Have you guys seen the Yo, I'm loving the team behind it. Number one is them really reviving the brand again because it's home and it's always been home. But other brands also came and then we're like, yeah, let's go back to the home. But then they are really back because they're including local music now. They're including local personalities now. They're including all the little things that we can relate to.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So if I came with my own brand of weed, $5 cheaper than Top Score, and I'm calling it Puff. Yeah, let's call it that's Puff. Like amazing Puff. Would you still buy Top Score?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of Corona? Because of
Why?
Corona? Okay.
As a startup, you can build the best brand that it could be the best, like the colors and the design would be great, but this is now online. No one see it could be a scam behind the computer. So people they want to be able to trust you, and they can't trust you online. So still, if you post your new puff online, it's still by top because I know nothing about it.
I go online. You're now in the shop. You're now in the shop. You're now in Pick and Pay.
I will still buy top stuff.
Okay.
Why?
Because I trust it. I've been there the whole time.
But even $5, it's $10 cheaper. Would you ask why is it so cheap?
Yes, you have to put someone behind it. Maybe then I'll start trusting. Like influencer.
Let's go back to brand loyalty. Loyalty. Right? Top Score has been in business for 10, 20, 50, whatever years it's been in business for. So even you when the newcomer comes, you'll attract the business cheapskates who'll be like, Jesus, this man, no, like, but when I eventually get to that point where my budget for groceries that month is okay, Top Score is still top of my list. But yeah.
They still have done a great job of being part of your life. Even if a new brand comes, the fact that you question it, even if it's cheaper, done. Done. Why then should I go for a lesser brand? They've done the hard job is done. And I think that's where the brand loyalty comes in. Yes, we all have had hard months where like you, and you count my coin. But they have become a basket staple. So it's part of your shopping list.
Yes.
It's part of your shopping list.
Yes.
So everything else can work around that, but they've done the harder job with it.
Now, in a shop, on the shelves, you've just launched your product or service. What is that you need to do to stand out? Because you're competing against the top scores, you're competing against testing versus skin rice, whatever, right? You're competing against Uber or Lefa versus Taxi Connect. You're competing against people that have built reputable brands with you coming, just merging into.
I would make sure if I came in, right, I would want to make sure I've got a more unique selling than top score. Besides price, because price doesn't matter. But also communicate. Not only communicate, but create a sense of I'm better. You get more out of me. You get better results out of me. There are brands that I will not do without because I trust the result I'm going to get. And look, we all like cooking, we all like good meals. I'm not going to eat some soggy pap, knowing that Top Score has always given me the best result. You know what I mean? So I would then try and one up Top Score and say actually better score. That's the sense which I must give you. So top is the better score. Yes. I think brands get complacent. You need to, if you're a new entrant into a category, you need to go and challenge the category, shake things up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but Chomi Bites did shake up the category in Namibia with Dynamil.
Yeah.
And they actually did well because I called Dynamil, but Chomi Bites would actually get things to me on time. They would make sure I'm at peace.
Yeah.
So they challenged the category.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Your competitors will always be there. And let that not be a mistake that you're the only person.
Yeah, don't get comfortable.
That,
Don't get comfortable.
And interesting, Thank God we're recording this session. So all the people online, if you really have questions, please pop them up. Dawn, our tech guy, will be able to read them out loud and you can answer them. Even the audience feel free to answer the questions online. But trying to wrap this up, what is our message for someone who wants to get into a career in terms of being a brand strategist or lifestyle?
So I say I'm gonna do brand and communication strategy. I would say be bold and don't be distracted. And you have to learn to be very secure very quickly. Because being a strategist is not about being celebrated. People always see the creative results and not what goes in on the journey. So I would say be secure in yourself and make sure you don't need validation. There'll be a lot of times you have to clap for yourself, and that's fine too. But the quicker you do that, the more you get better at what you do. Because you're not searching for the opinion of others for validation, but you just keep going. And you actually do a better job that way.
Absolutely. And I'll take it back to the thing that you said. Sometimes your product or your service is just the vehicle that you use to kind of share or express yourself or the problem is that you're sharing. Because people sometimes fall in love with the problem. They fall in love with how there's someone out there who's actually bridging a gap or who's trying to build a bridge over it. And I want to be part of that journey. So whatever they come up with, whether it's a cell phone, camera, ring light, or whatever it is, and I'm in the tech business, it's you fall in love with my journey, and then whatever product it is that I put out there, you just get by it. And like I said, sometimes it will collect dust, but it's just a matter of I got an Apple product again, So it's one of those things that we also sometimes tell ourselves that you don't have to be the expert, but associate yourself with someone that knows this.
I would definitely say no one's an expert.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone feel like you're less of an expert or you're not qualified.
Yeah.
Everyone's qualified.
Yeah.
Everyone's qualified.
In your own right.
If you look at all the leaders, even locally, all the big corporates, I hate to say it, like even a Sweden team, like they had to believe in something. It's more, and they had to fight the grain. If everything was handed to you on a silver spoon, it would not make it worth it. It would not make it worth it.
Do we have a question for me here?
So let's say I create Bearscore.
Okay.
Bearscore.
Okay.
And you are part of the top score team. How would you would you be worried about my brand?
No, I would, but I'll make sure I remind my market that I got you. I now start showing you how I'm part of your journey. I now start showing you how you went to your Oma's house and she still made you puff. That there's no feeling that beats that. And here you come and you say, oh, okay. But yes, I want to feel close to them. And the peanut butter I use, and I actually, and I'm like, it reminds me of home. It reminds me of the green grass at home. And my mom is cooking in the kitchen, and I'm trying to lick the spoon that she's used to cook with it. So that's that. So even for me to try a new brand, come along, yes, but I know my space. Yeah.
Not to encourage you, please. But
you must be ready for these kind of things.
Yeah.
No, if you are launching out, be ready for the aggressive competition. That's why you always get a Samsung and an iPhone. That's why you always get a Nike and an Adidas.
Following up on the question, for example, the Samsung iPhone edition, it's kind of I've noticed that they've used it to sort of push away the rest of them.
100%.
So even iPhone, Samsung, or Huawei, whatever it is, it's not just iPhone, Samsung. So now, is there competition also helping only to compete against you as top as best score, and you have now top score?
So I will tell you something that Huawei did that shook iPhone and Samsung. They offered a high value product, right, at a lower price. So it gave people access to a smartphone, the same device, same look and feel, access to that at a lower price. Now more people would be included in this conversation of, oh, WhatsApp, oh, Facebook, oh, Instagram. And that became more fun. And as you can see now, they provide a wide range from low end to high end. And high spec phone that can make Samsung run for their money. And
I think you see the conversation on Twitter, for example. It's very rare to hear somebody from Huawei pitching and say of course they'll probably pitch on the side of Samsung and Android. But then most often it's usually iOS versus Android. Yeah. Exactly.
So I will tell you this: one thing you need to learn as an entrepreneur, let the sales speak louder than the social media. You will see that the market share was different.
So I think just so that you have to use sales. So Samsung is first to 82nd.
Yes.
iPhone is now third.
100%. But see, Apple got too comfortable being at the top. Don't ever get too comfortable. Yes, you have a nice ecosystem, but people also want more than this.
And they get tired of, top score, we get it, but it's also something similar, like let's
go.
And this one is me and you.
Yeah.
And in terms of
and for me, they have generated enough clouds to have a banter, But what I want entrepreneurs out there to understand is that Huawei came in as a challenger brand, and now look at the sales. They were the underdog, but they knew they had to gain traction.
If you have to prove it now, whatever pandemic hits us next.
Yeah.
And you.
No. They say whatever happens next.
Yeah.
Not whatever pandemic happens. No.
Okay. No, the world really was for a minute.
Yeah.
How do you prove your business? And you mentioned this earlier, and I really wanted to, highlight it again. How do you prove your idea that you really feel it just needs a little support to, scale up? And even if you are in business already and you want to scale it, how do you prove it enough to be able to withstand any
So are you saying how does business protect itself?
brand
The
business?
brand business. I'm sorry, I want to keep saying this. I always think if your business and your brand has a purpose, it should be, and the purpose allows the brand to be agile enough to maneuver. It will still be relevant. Yes, it will take a hit, but it won't be at a big hit as other brands. I mean, the global economy suffered a lot, but you're still buying milk, right?
Still buying milk?
Yes, but you're buying probably that milk, I hope.
Yes, always.
This is the thing, but that's you'll have to adapt. And even top score with this ad, people need conversation to make light of things, but also the reward, like money and all of these things. So be relevant. Namuk did it. A lot of brands are doing it as well. McCain is doing it right now. People want to make light of the pandemic and not just be doom and gloom, but also be part of their lives. Maybe today.
Yeah. What value do you bring?
What value do you bring?
My family.
A lot of brands had to adapt, but if their purpose was on point, they will find a way. It's not going to be like a seamless thing, but you will have to swim hard.
Fantastic. Well, we thank you so much. We hope you guys learned a lot today. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Quickly. Thank you.
You take a look at companies like Tesla, right?
Yes.
One of my favorite companies. You discover that they managed to convince long-time companies like Mercedes to convert to a particular industry that they're going.
100%.
So this is speaking out of entrepreneurship and venture out into something that's new in a particular place, in a particular industry, something like that. How best do you think you can also do or make such type of progress? Or perhaps get your brain going up to that particular.
So my answer would be Elon Musk for Tesla. I'm correct. He was brave and bold enough, but he found a unique selling point in the category that he could own. Find something you can own in the category and ride with it. And I think I remember one of his talks. He said that at some point in the pursuit of opening his company, he was happy being alone. Because he was saying, but there's Audi, there's Mercedes, and everyone was talking about fuel efficiencies. Yeah. But he's like, I'm okay, I'll stay on path, I'll keep going. So I would then just say, find what differentiates you and own it. And they'll all adjust, which they are.
So when you say owning,
What makes you different?
yeah, what makes you different, owning that business, would you say the most important thing when coming in as a competitive brand would be addressing customers' pain points? So like for Top Score, it's affordable for a lot of Namibians. So bringing something cheaper won't make any sense. But like, if it's maybe a better taste that you're gonna offer, maybe through word of mouth, maybe more people will convert to that. Or like Apple, for example, removing the charger from the box. They are appealing to environmentalists, for people who care about the fact that it's equivalent to removing 42,000 cars off the road per year. So would you say differentiate yourself where the customer will most value you?
Where it resonates. So I would definitely say Tesla does performance well and does other things well as well. But they owned one and they added other values. It became multifaceted. So even with a brand like a Top Score, I would then, if I was the competitor brand, I would then start a narrative like start a new edition plus. So I'm already I'm sweeping Oma under the rug and becoming my own person. You know what I mean? And yeah, my whole brand. And starting with me, because I'm healthy, I'm fast, I can do all of these things for you. Then own it.
But it's hard because Costco has instant pot now, so woo.
It's just an example. I'm just saying, there's so, and I think brands need to tell more stories than just selling a product.
And Nike has
and consistently own it. I cannot wait to see what Top Score does after Get Rich, because they've now opened their own narrative. You know what I mean? And it's something that is I want to see, because you don't just start there. You asked me also about Oshikandela. I know last year in December they did local design and how they could express it. That's they're owning the heritage and the artifacts of Namibian culture. They're owning it. So yeah, that answer your question.
Well, okay. I'm gonna allow you to
That's a short question. Maybe it's easy a little bit with this question. What is more important, the product or the brand?
The purpose.
The purpose. We just quote you guys.
I think the reason why Nike can take part in competition for race and LGBT is because they have a purpose. They're the people at their heart. And with that, they become more than a brand. Now you want to buy into them because they stand for people. They stand for people. They stand for athletes. They stand for the study.
Wearing it sometimes not even need to say anything.
Yeah.
Someone walked into the room. Okay. If we have any more questions for him, we're surely going to stick around a little bit more. But I just want us to, get up and do some exercise, of which might involve using your hands. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, if you need a coffee break, absolutely, we're going to give that like 10 seconds. Starting now. 15 seconds. But maybe while you are all the way that side, I'll just explain to everyone what the game is or the exercise is. But once again, I'd like to thank Vennduke for allowing us to pick his brains a little bit more. I could not, if we were not timed, we would have this conversation all night, if not until the next morning. Yeah, so please give me a round of applause. And you can share your email address, however you'd like to be reached out if you want to pick his brain a little bit more. And especially if you are maybe taking your startup, your idea a little bit more seriously in terms of having to create a brand around. So he's like the go-to guy for that. All right? So we are going to take a game, and we're actually going to have a very interactive session on how to start thinking around having to build a